Hello everyone, it is I, your new best friend Fable. Today in boating school, I learned that I'm actually allergic to sunscreen, or possibly a certain chemical in the sunscreen I use. We'll try to use another one later, see if I break out or not. If so, then I'll have to figure out a way to go to the beach without being in the sun. Oh dear. Anyway, we're learning about the beast modes. I think I'm more interested in the beast modes of the Transformers than I am the cars. Yes, I know, furry, blah, blah, blah. Stop being a butt, I'm gonna fight you. Anyways,
To animals and robots who.
oh dear. Try that again.
Yeah, I'm still working through that backlog of Patreon sponsored episodes, and this week's supporter Brandon Guy Woodall chose a great subject: Transformers with animal forms, or as they're also known, beast modes. These kinds of bots have always been a part of the franchise, and exactly how they've been treated by the lore has grown and changed a lot over time. Let's take a look. Animal Transformers split neatly into two groups: robots who turn into animals, and robots who look like animals and turn into something else. We're going to look at the latter group first because though they are the less common kind, they were the very first type of beast mode Transformers to exist, all the way back in the very first year of the franchise, in the form of Ravage the Jaguar and Laserbeak and Buzzsaw the Condors, who all transformed from cassettes into animal robot modes. Many individual cassette characters that followed this pattern would be introduced as the Generation 1 toy line continued, and the way that media has handled them and their non-standard robot forms has been pretty variable. Marvel Comics writer Bob Budiansky treated them as full and proper characters, writing profiles that gave them fleshed-out, sentient personalities,
I
and the
like him.
comic showed
I
the
like Bob Yancey. The more I learn about him, the more it seems he actually, gave character arts. It's interesting.
to be capable of speech, making it clear that they were perfectly normal Transformers on equal footing with the rest of the cast. They just happened to look like animals was all. The Generation 1 cartoon, on the other hand, treated the cassettes as if they actually were robot animals. They usually couldn't talk, and they acted like animals, growling, squawking, perching on others, or allowing themselves to be petted. And some of these mannerisms bled back over into the comic book, and as the cassette characters have gone on to be revisited and reimagined down through Transformers history, both distinct approaches have persisted, with neither ever really gaining a foothold over the other. Cartoons usually depict them as non-verbal beasts, while comic books usually treat them as regular bots. Some
Oh my god, I
continuities,
remember
like
that
the
scene.
live-action movies, even mix and match, letting some characters talk and keeping others animalistic. Now, while the cassette characters are the most famous examples of robots that look like animals, they're far from the only ones. Generally speaking, other animal robots tend to follow the example set by the cassettes, in that they're commonly small and subordinate to larger regular Transformers, like many of the Action Master partners, the breast animals of Transformers Victory, the deployers of Beast Machines, or many of the mini-cons of the Aligned continuity. Though this isn't a universal rule, as full-size, fully-fledged, independent characters
Look
like
at him.
Skylynx, the gigantic Trypticon, or virtually the entire Decepticon cast of 2015's Robots in Disguise prove. But large or small, like the cassettes before them, some of these bots are fully sentient talking Transformers, and others are non-speaking animals. There really aren't any consistent rules. Some rare sources have sought to explain why these robots look like animals by identifying some of them as examples of the natural wildlife of Cybertron, creatures called mechanimals, who have been upgraded physically and in some cases mentally to become Transformers. The other kind of animal transformer, the kind who turn from robots into animals, is the more common one. They've been around since near the start of the franchise too, beginning with the Dinobots and the Insecticons in the second year of the toy line, quickly expanding in the years that followed to include characters like the Predacons, the Terrorcons, and more, encompassing not just real-world animals, but fantastical and mythological monsters as well. Though their humanoid forms generally mean there's no question about the sentience of these robots, the Generation 1 cartoon in particular had a tendency to tie their personalities or abilities to their alternate modes. For instance, the ravenous Insecticons could eat organic matter, and many of the others were ferocious and not overly intelligent. The cartoon also highlighted the similarities that existed between both types of animal transformers, collectively referring to them all as primitives, and noting that they shared aspects of their biology.
Why am I under investigation? I'm not a Dinobot. You got dinosaur electrons in your circuit, Skylinks. Nevertheless, I am definitely not a Dinobot.
Animal alternate modes took over Transformers
actually.
in the 1990s with the advent of Beast Wars, the series
Beast
which coined the
Wars.
term that's now so often used to refer to them.
Beast mode!
Unlike the mechanical animal forms of Generation 1, the Beast Warriors all transformed into organic animals that mimicked the appearance of the real-life creatures. A new ability gained as part of an evolutionary quantum leap which allowed the Transformers to reshape the living metal of their bodies into organic configurations as well as metallic ones. Stranded on prehistoric Earth, Optimus Primal and Megatron's crews scammed the native animals to create beast modes for themselves, using them as organic skins to shield their robotic bodies from the energon radiation that saturated the planet. As in Generation 1, a beast mode had a certain amount of influence on a character's personality. Rat Trap ate garbage, Pterosaur and Tarantulas feasted on live prey, with animal instincts even starting to overtake their minds if they remained in beast mode for too long. And this blurring of the line between beast and bot only continued as the series transitioned into beast machines, which introduced the idea of techno-organic bodies that blended beast flesh and transformer metal at the cellular level in both modes, something that would resurface years later in Transformers Animated. And the concept of Transformers who didn't have a robot mode at all, instead changing from beast to beast. After the Beast era wrapped up, beast modes were largely retired for several years, making only a few sparse appearances in the early 2000s. It was 2005's Transformers Cybertron that brought back animal alternate modes in force, which it did by introducing Animatron, the jungle planet,
I remember
a Cybertronian colony
kind of.
cut off from the Transformers' homeworld millennia ago, where robotic life had evolved along its own unique path, leading to all the planet's inhabitants having beast modes. This singling out of beast modes as something outside the norm hadn't really been done in universe before, and prior to this they'd largely been presented as a choice, just another type of alternate mode that any Transformer could have. But Cybertron's handling of them as something other would go on to inform how they've been treated in the major media of the 2010s. Today, animal transformers have come to be frequently depicted as a unique class or subspecies of Cybertronian life, collectively distinct from regular transformers. IDW Publishing's comic books have shown them to be the victims of prejudice, seen as a lesser
Aw man, what can we not? Can we not have prejudice in my comic book? No, we have to, I'm kidding. That sucks.
kind of Cybertronian by others, while the aligned continuity has seen terms like Dinobot, Insecticon, and Predacon, previously used to refer to small teams or factions, evolve to become the names of entire naturally occurring species, along with many others.
The Alchemor's Prisoner Manifest lists a Sharktacon aboard, a Buffaloid, Amphiboid,
and I thought Corvicons were hoarders.
Snakedacons, Skunkdacons, a Chompazoid named
Stuntatons?
And this
Oh
all
my
includes
lord.
both Transformers with beast modes and Transformers with animal robot modes, further blurring the already hazy distinction between the two to the point of irrelevance. As in older stories, regular Transformers have been shown to be capable of modifying their bodies to take on beast modes, but today, doing so is presented as being such a change to their genetic makeup that it's not uncommon for bots who do this to be left unable to control the wild animal instincts inherent to these modes, so much does assuming them alter their bodies and minds. So with the firm establishment of this idea, you may well ask, why do some Transformers look like animals, or turn into animals, when the majority of Cybertronians don't? And also, why do the animals so often look like ones from Earth, even before the Transformers ever visit the planet? Well, the answer lies in Cybertron's distant past, with Onyx Prime, one of the original 13 primes from the planet's prehistory. The centaur-like Onyx was the first Cybertronian with a beast mode, and it's from him that all the beasts of Cybertron, be they robot or alternate mode, are descended. The Aligned Continuities version of Onyx's story recounts how he possessed the mystic artifact known as the Triptych Mask, which granted him the ability to see through time and space and into the hearts and minds of other life forms. It was through the power of the mask that Onyx's descendants were patterned after animals from other worlds and times, including the animals of present-day Earth, the dinosaurs of its prehistoric past, and even fictional ones like dragons and other mythological beasts. In IDW's comics, Onyx even founded his own colony world, Eucharis, essentially the comics' version of Cybertron's jungle planet where every Transformer has a beast mode, home to new incarnations of many characters from Beast Wars. At the time of this episode's release, Onyx and his Beast Army have just made their dramatic return to Cybertron. The story behind Beast Modes has changed a lot over time, but they are and always will be a huge part of Transformers lore. Though if Onyx has his way, the Beasts might be all that's left after he's done with Cybertron. And those are the basics on Beast Modes. Thanks to Brandon for sponsoring a complex episode full of history and lore.
I kind of like this. It was interesting to learn that, like, just about a lot of other things are connected to a prime in some way. Anyway, thank you all for coming. I hope you all enjoy. I'm gonna probably look up some more videos on different beast formers. Why? Because, I don't know, chicken nuggets. Why?